Welcome back to WC Coins World, where we explore the fascinating history of coins from around the world. In today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at the 1965 one penny, a coin that holds historical, numismatic, and collector significance. We will explore its origins, design, minting process, variations, and much more. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete understanding of everything there is to know about this coin, from its place in history to its value in today's market. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of the 1965 one penny. The 1965 one penny was issued in various countries, including the United Kingdom and Australia, each with its own unique history and significance. In the United Kingdom, the penny was part of the pre-decimal currency system, which existed before the country switched to the decimal system in 1971. The British one penny was made of bronze and featured the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, while the reverse depicted the iconic Britannia design. Meanwhile, in Australia, the one penny was also part of the pre-decimal system and featured a completely different design, with a kangaroo on the reverse and the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Both versions were widely used in their respective countries and played an important role in everyday transactions. The history of the one penny coin dates back centuries, with roots in the early monetary systems of England. The penny itself has been a fundamental unit of currency in England since the Anglo-Saxon period, evolving through various designs and compositions over the centuries. By the time the 1965 one penny was minted, it had become an essential part of everyday commerce, used in a wide range of transactions. Despite its low face value, the penny carried significant importance in trade, representing small but crucial denominations in the economy. The 1965 one penny was among the last of the pre-decimal pennies to be minted, before the transition to the decimal system, making it a historically significant coin for collectors and historians alike. In the United Kingdom, the 1965 one penny was minted at the Royal Mint, which has a long history dating back to the 9th century. The Royal Mint was responsible for producing the country's coinage and ensuring its quality and accuracy. The minting of the 1965 penny followed the traditional process of striking bronze planchets with high precision to create uniform coins. This particular penny featured a composition of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, giving it a distinctive reddish-brown color. The coin had a diameter of 30.86 millimeters and weighed 9.45 grams, maintaining the standard specifications of British pennies of the time. The obverse of the 1965 British one penny featured the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by artist Mary Gillick. This design had been in use since the Queen's coronation in 1953 and was widely recognized for its youthful portrayal of the monarch. The inscription around the portrait read, Elizabeth II de Gratia Regina F. Laughing Face : which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription reflected the traditional titles of the British monarch, emphasizing both religious and political authority. The design was simple yet elegant, symbolizing the continuity of the British monarchy and its role in the nation's history. On the reverse side of the British 1965 one penny, the iconic Britannia design was featured, a symbol that had appeared on British pennies for centuries. Britannia, the personification of Britain, was depicted seated, holding a trident in her right hand and resting her left hand on a shield that bore the Union Jack. This design, created by Leonard Charles Wyon in the 19th century, had become a staple of British coinage and represented the strength, maritime power, and stability of the nation. The word one penny was inscribed above Britannia, with the date 1965 positioned below. This design remained a classic representation of British coinage until the transition to decimalization in 1971. The British 1965 one penny did not have a mint mark, as it was produced exclusively by the Royal Mint in London, unlike some coins from other countries that had multiple mints producing their currency. British pennies were generally struck at a single location, ensuring consistency in design and quality. However, variations in strike quality and minor differences in die characteristics have been noted by collectors, making some coins more desirable than others. Despite being a common coin in circulation at the time, well-preserved specimens with sharp details and minimal work can be valuable to collectors today. In Australia, the 1965 one penny was minted at multiple locations, including the Perth Mint and the Melbourne Mint. Australian pennies featured a distinctive design with a leaping kangaroo on the reverse, symbolizing the country's unique wildlife and national identity. The obverse of the Australian 1965 penny, like its British counterpart, featured Queen Elizabeth II, but the design was slightly different, created by Arnold Mackin. The inscription around the portrait read, Elizabeth II Australia, emphasizing the coin's national affiliation. The Australian penny had a slightly different composition, being made of bronze with a high copper content, giving it a warm, reddish appearance. The Australian 1965 one penny had no mint mark if it was struck at the Melbourne Mint, while coins produced at the Perth Mint featured a small Y mint mark below the kangaroo's tail. This mint mark helps collectors identify the origin of the coin and is an important detail for numismatists studying variations in production. The Perth Mint had a long history of producing high-quality coins, and its contributions to Australian coinage were significant throughout the pre-decimal period. The Australian penny, like its British counterpart, was part of the country's monetary system until the introduction of decimal currency in 1966, making 1965 one of the final years of issue for this denomination. The 1965 one penny holds a special place in numismatic history as one of the last pre-decimal pennies, produced before major currency reforms in both the UK and Australia. The shift to decimalization marked a significant change in how money was structured and used, making these older coins historical artifacts of a bygone era. Many collectors seek out 1965 pennies as a way to preserve a piece of history, and depending on their condition and rarity, some examples can be quite valuable. Uncirculated specimens, especially those with a strong strike and minimal blemishes, are particularly desirable in the numismatic market. When it comes to the value of the 1965 one penny today, factors such as condition, minting variations, and demand play a crucial role. In general, circulated examples are common and have minimal value beyond their historical interest. However, uncirculated coins with full original luster and no working command higher prices among collectors. Special proof versions or error coins, such as those with misaligned dies or double strikes, can be significantly more valuable. Collectors often look for full red examples, where the original copper color is still intact, as these are rarer than those that have developed a brown patina over time. Numismatics is not just about collecting coins. It is about preserving history, understanding economic shifts, and appreciating the artistry behind coin designs. The 1965 one penny is a perfect example of a coin that represents a transitionary period in currency history, whether from the UK or Australia. These pennies tell the story of their respective nations, the technological advancements in minting, and the cultural symbols that were important at the time. For anyone interested in coin collecting, the 1965 one penny is a must-have, offering a tangible connection to the past and a reminder of how currency continues to evolve. The 1965 one penny is covered in this deep dive, exploring its history, design, and significance. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe for more numismatic content. Share your 1965 penny collection and desired video topics in the comments. Thanks, and see you in the next video.